Hi everyone! So I know I haven't been too great about keeping up with my videos, but I have been having issues with my iMovie editing. My lips don't match with any of the filming that I do, like my lips don't match with the sound. So I have just been, like, I'll film it and then I'll go to edit it, but I have to like detach the audio and move the audio around, and it drives me crazy. And honestly, week 18 and 19, I didn't have that many differences in my symptoms. My belly has popped a little, but that's not the video that I'm doing today. I will do my 20-week video pregnancy vlog in just a couple more days. I am going to show you a couple pictures from our ultrasound, though, towards the end of the video. In this video, I wanted to talk about something that I read a lot about on my pregnancy boards, like my message boards that I go to and talk to other women who are in the same like birth month as me. So my neighbor's gonna come up and be like, "What is she doing?" So one of the topic is I wanted to talk about relationships and pregnancy, and I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about my relationship with my boyfriend, the father of my soon-to-be son, Jackson. I guess he's not soon-to-be. He's here. He's my son. But I'm gonna just go on, touch on a couple topics like our relationship, if we thought about getting married, and just what our plans were for having a baby. Like, I guess I'll start with that. We didn't plan to have a baby, but we didn't try not to. So in other words, I wasn't on birth control. I got to a point in our relationship, we got to a point where we were like, you know, if God wants it to happen, it'll happen. We decided that we were never going to be sure when we're ready to have kids. You know, everyone says, "Oh, I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready," and that's true. Sometimes you really are just too young and you're not prepared. We got to the point where we are 28 years old. We have an apartment. We have a nice apartment. We have 2 cats. We have, you know, we have everything that we need. And, you know, so we kind of decided, look, if it happens, it happens. And it did happen a couple times, and I had a miscarriage. And it's very difficult to go through that, but you have to remind yourself that things do happen for a reason. You know, after that happened, I realized that there were some things that I still needed to do. There were some things that I still needed to do to take care of myself and to make sure that I'm the best person I can be before I'm a mommy. So, and there's always going to be things that I need to work on with myself because I am far from perfect and I will never be anywhere near it, and no one will. But we try. You know, it's progress, not perfection. But anyway, we decided to, you know, if it happens, it happens. And this time when it happened, I had no idea. Most of the other times I was like, oh, did I miss my period? Did I miss my period? This time I honestly didn't even really think about it. And Kenny's mom was visiting, and I was sick. I was so sick the entire time that she was here for like 2 weeks or something like that. And I didn't know why, and it didn't put 2 and 2 together. I just thought, you know, Kenny had gotten sick, so I was like, man, I just keep catching the bug that he has over and over again. And suddenly, after I missed a period and I started thinking about it, I was like, wait, something's going on. Like, my body, you just know. Your body just knows. You get to that point where you're like, okay, my boobs feel weird, my brain feels weird, like everything just, something's different. So I took a pregnancy test, and I actually went to the dollar store because I was like, I've wasted so much money on pregnancy tests before that I was like, I'm going to the dollar store, I'm going to pick up a little, you know, one that you like pee in a cup, and they're so cheapy. And the result it looked positive. And I was like, oh, do I go? Do I get like because after that I was thinking I might as well just get the EPT digital, you know, just so it says pregnant, not pregnant. So I was like, okay. I showed Kenny, and he was like, well, we've seen this before, and I just don't want to get our hopes up, and I don't want to get your hopes up because I know how hard it is. But a couple days later, I decided, okay, I'm going to go for it. And I went and I got the digital test, it said pregnant, and there was another one in there that said pregnant, and I just kept taking tests, and then finally I went to, I actually went to Planned Parenthood first because I didn't have insurance yet. So I went there, they confirmed pregnant, and our reaction, it wasn't like a, oh my god, we're pregnant, like you see in movies. It was like, okay, let's be careful, because we've been through the loss before, and it's not a good feeling, and you don't want to get your hopes up for something like this and then have them be crushed. It's just, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, because it's an ugly feeling. So it wasn't like, oh my god, it wasn't like that. It was like, okay, well, I'm going to start taking prenatals. I'm going to start eating. I mean, I wasn't a bad eater before, but I was like, I'm not eating anything that to tell me not to eat. I had stopped working because I was in a high stress level job. And I mean, I swear that made all the difference. When I stopped working, I got pregnant and I was healthier. And people say, oh, it'll happen. You just have to relax. You just have to, they say to do all those things. It is true. When I quit my job, I was so much less stressed out that, I mean, I know that that's why it finally happened, and that's why it stuck. I know that that's the reason. But anyway, I started eating well and all of that stuff. So in regards to that, we are so happy. My buttons just, see how big my boobs are getting. We are so happy that we are having a baby. We, as time went on, Kenny got to see him. Kenny got to, hear the heartbeat. Because at first it was just sort of like, okay, I guess there's a baby in there. I don't know. He doesn't have that connection. So once he sees the heartbeat, once we found out it was a boy, we picked out a name. We got to see his face in the sonogram or the anatomy scan, and the little 3D face, and he just has a much better connection to him now, and it's just become a lot easier. And I think the biggest thing, because Kenny mentions it every single day, is the belly growing. I think that has been the biggest, whoa, there's baby in there kind of thing for him. But our relationship is another thing that I want to talk about, because our relationship has always been tumultuous. We have been through everything together. We met, I want to say 3.5 years ago in a rehab program. So, we're both sober. We've both had relapses together, and it's been difficult. He had to go to jail to take care of some stuff that happened when he was younger. I've gone to jail because I made really stupid decisions, and we went through that together. And because of that, I think our relationship is that much stronger. I don't think there's that many couples or that many people that would, I guess, put up with that with each other, but I don't feel like I put up with that. I feel like it's just, he's my person, and that's what you do when you love someone, because I know in my heart of hearts that in his heart, he's amazing, and he's not a bad person, and he knows the same about me. We just make mistakes, and we didn't grow up when we were supposed to. I should have been doing a lot of other things when I was 25 rather than partying or making bad choices. And I'm growing up now, and we've grown up together, and I think having a baby has been the biggest, you're 28 years old, you're pushing 30 pretty quick, so get it together. And I got sober again well before we found out we were pregnant, and we both did. But yeah, our lives are definitely, we still argue, but we argue like healthy couples argue now. We argue the way people are supposed to argue. We don't go crazy, and we're not like, I'm gonna go to the bar and drink, party, blah. None of that. We just bicker and take our space. You go to your corner, I go to my corner. We come back, we make up, and everything's fine. But we have always had a tumultuous relationship, and I think of my family and how they perceive our relationship, and they probably think that we are just crazy. Because, who do you call when you're having issues with your other half? You call your mom. You call, and then your mom calls so-and-so. Everybody hears all the negative stuff. Even your best friends, they hear a lot of the negative stuff, but they don't hear a lot of the positive stuff and the stuff that's truly in your heart, because that's saved for the person that you're spending your life with. And speaking of spending my life with, the other thing that I did want to talk about is the idea of getting married. And that is the first thing that most people ask us. Are we going to get married? Are we going to get married? And we had never thought about it. It wasn't really it's not something that we thought about because we didn't need it. And now that people were asking, we were like, okay, well, let's talk about it. Maybe, do we get married? Whose last name does the baby take, and all of that? Because of course I want my baby to have my same last name, but at the same time, he's the first boy. I want him to take on Kenny's name and the family name, because he's the first one. There's no other boys that are carrying it on yet in the family. So when it comes to marriage, we don't need it. It's 2012. We are a happy, we're just a couple that loves each other. We share a life together. We share everything in our lives together. We don't need it. We don't need to get married. And really, it's just an added expense that we don't need. And I just see so many couples and people will get married and they don't even make it to the baby phase, because marriage, I swear, when you get married, it changes something in your head, especially women. And I hate to say it, but it seems like it changes something in your head where you feel an obligation, or where you feel like someone else has an obligation to you. And we don't feel that way toward each other. We're just equals, and we do our best and we help each other out as best we can. My cat is climbing on the counter. Hey, you know better than that. So that is our stance on getting married. One day, yeah, if it seems appropriate, I wouldn't mind throwing on a white dress. I used to think about it a lot when I was little, having a big white wedding, but now it just seems like that passed for me. Having a big wedding where there's I've seen all my family, everyone's had their big white weddings, and I don't know, I don't think I need it. I would rather go get married on a beach and just have my son there and have Kenny there and just a few close family and friends, and there you go. So that's how we feel about that. We just don't need it. So I'm going to go ahead, I don't know how long this video is. I'm going to go ahead and show you a couple pictures that were my favorite of Jackson, and this is the first one. And when we went to the sonogram, he was folded completely in half. And you can see this is his little face. My nails are horrible. And he's still really skinny, because these were taken at 19 weeks. But he had his legs and his hands up above his head, and it was darling. But this is where I say he has daddy's nose. And there he is. Alright guys, so I'm going to wrap up this video because I need to have it so it's short enough to be able to upload. But I hope you guys are having a great day. Stay tuned. I will have a 20-week pregnancy vlog coming up soon. And I'm sorry for not being here for a couple weeks, but I hope you guys are having a great day. Okay, love you guys. Bye.